we are being recorded. So hopefully Mike will make me look good, whatever. But anyway, thank you guys for piping in. I know there's more people that are going to be piping in here in a bit. I am just going to get started because I think there's a lot of content to go over. So I'm just going to share my screen as soon as I find it. Get Emily in. I didn't know I have to admit everybody. I thought it would automatically just let people chime in. Let's see, PowerPoint. Here it is. Okay, I'm sharing my PowerPoint. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Great. Should I go bigger? Now, if I go bigger.
Well, we can go up to view and hit standard, and that makes the screen larger, and then we can go up to the top where we either can have a strip of 4 showing 4 of us, or just ourselves, or just you actually is there, or hit the small one and all of the images go away, and we just see your graphic.
I can see it fine, and I'm on a phone. So.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. All right. So this is all about love attraction, my favorite subject. And it's funny because I didn't really know anything about it. And so a few years ago, I watched that movie, The Secret, and I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, it just made so much sense. It's like, that's why everything that's happened, whatever. So we're just going to dive right in. What is it? I call it LOA, or so if you see me, I might abbreviate LOA or whatever, law of attraction. When thought and energy come into alignment with desire, or what we think we manifest. Well, sort of. That's the gist, kind of a remedial way of putting it. I'm sorry? Somebody say something? Okay. Okay, here we go. So I want to know right now, what are your top 3 concerns? Like, is it bills, money, relationships, your living situation? And just like, even if you just think about them or write them down or whatever, just because we're going to do a couple of exercises through this too. What are your 3? I would like just some interaction here. Some of your 3 or 1, your most, what is the thing that you're worried about or most concerned about right this minute? Anybody? I got to keep letting people.
Health for me.
Health.
Stress management.
Stress management. There you go. All right.
Procrastination.
Procrastination, stress management. Yes, these are things that we concern. And some people that, the rent or mortgage is due, the electric bill, which, gosh, when you have air conditioning and you live out in the Central Valley in California, it's 100 degrees every day for 12 weeks. It's like, or more, so anyway, there's some things that even in my past that I have just stressed over when I just, no matter what. So for rent or mortgage, typically it's due on the 1st. Okay. And whether I worry about it or not, where is it? Come on, go. Okay. Oh, no, I want to go backwards. Whether I worry about it or not, it's still going to happen, right? Whether if you have a job and you get paid, whenever your payday is, and you're like thinking about it, and you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get paid, and it creates an anticipatory anxiety for you. Because in your head, you've at least already spent it. And I know some people spend it before it even arrives or whatever. These are just areas of lack and a worry. And where is your energy and thought going? Into these, stress management things. They're stressed. They're going into procrastination. Well, but the one thing about procrastination is you always have something to look forward to tomorrow, right? I think that's the procrastinator's creed. And usually a procrastinator does tend to suffer from perfectionism. If I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it at all, that kind of thing. And I don't know how many of you can relate, but yeah, that's kind of like the census of it. and some people just, even me, and I try really hard. See, there's that word try. I try really hard to just do it, and I don't know if you all know this, but I am a professional sign language interpreter on the side, and I need to bill the the agency that hires me, and it's just a spreadsheet on my computer. I just put in their numbers and I click send. It takes like 3 or 4 minutes, and sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 days. I know I got to do it. Why am I not doing it? Because I'm focusing, I'm avoiding. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out. But I have a feeling it has something to do with the NLP or the whatever's going in the noggin. But when I figure out the X factor, I'm going to share it. Okay. So these are things that just, whatever they are, I'm just saying top 3 things. Somebody may only have one. Some people may have 17, whatever, but people worry about stuff that doesn't benefit them to worry about it, because it's stuff they don't have control over. As far as when it's going to happen, like your bills, they come in every month, no matter what. So I put energy in it. If you are in a relationship and let's say it's strained or soured or not where you want it to be, you can make those changes yourself, whether they follow along, your partner does or not. It's almost immaterial, because 2 things will happen. They'll either go along or it will demise itself. If it keeps going in the direction, you're just going to be miserable. So change can happen on one side, and the other side will follow along or won't. And then there's those actions that happen as a result. Your living situation. Maybe you live in a place where you don't want to live. Maybe you live, with parents or with family, and you'd rather be out on your own. These are, and you're worried about it. You focus on it, whatever. So there's a way to help yourself manifest that out. I've been homeless twice in my life. And are you in lack? And don't we always say these things? I'm gonna someday. I will. I want to do that. I desire that. I hope. Oh, I wish this would happen. All these are words of lack, and there's so many more. These are just the ones I kind of rattled off really quick. But so if we're saying these words, we're not really wanting to manifest, because our subconscious mind's going, okay, well, all right. It's not happening. So don't worry. It's not going to put any energy in it. And you're not putting any energy into the desire of what you want. Okay, this is a little commercial freebie input here. So let's say you're telling somebody something about a positive thing about somebody. Oh, that, she is such a sweet lady. She helps people so much. And I just really love the way she just her attitude and her character. But now when you say but, you have canceled everything you just said subconsciously and subliminally. Because now subconsciously and instinctively, you're coming up with a negative to add, because but is a negative, little article word, clause, filter, whatever they call that part of speech. But so my encouragement is be conscientious of when you say but. So instead you could say, if you have a negative, I'm really not happy. My neighbor just always has these issues going on next door, and they're always yelling, and the police are always there. But now I've canceled everything negative I just said, but now I'm going to add, we're looking for a positive wording next. We're looking for the next statement that might be positive. So regardless, I personally try to stay away from this word. I know it's really hard because it's part of our vocabulary. That doesn't mean you can't ever use it or anything like that, but I'm just throwing this in there because it could be a hindrance to what you're trying to manifest in your own life. And you really want as many of personal examples of law of attraction that you can have on your own. How do you do that? Well, hopefully after these slides, I'm just sharing you what I learned, what I do to get where I'm at and where I'm going. Okay. So any questions on this? Oh, yes. Go ahead, Steve.
I just wanted to make a comment. When I studied NLP, we were taught, when giving constructive criticism and feedback to the other students, say something positive first,
Right. Oreo
and then
cookie.
use the word and
Right.
instead of but.
But exactly. Or don't say it at all. You know, I really like
The
yeah,
purpose of the constructive criticism was so that they could improve.
improve. Exactly. So you can say your constructive criticism. You know, I really like the way you were giving your speech. Your attire is perfect. I just want to include that maybe you might be encouraged. See, I didn't say but, and I didn't say but and
Okay.
works too. That kind of thing. So no,
Yes,
that's a really good point. I forgot about that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And also, I don't remember
Yes.
who said it. Sorry, I'm chewing.
That's
I don't
okay,
remember who
Chu.
said it, but if you do the comp, what is it called? The constructive criticism sandwich. So you do
Oreo
positive,
cookie.
then yeah, exactly, positive,
Oreo,
and then
negative.
the feedback, and then the positive again.
Right. Yeah. Little
It-
Oreo cookie sandwich thing. And make the
It-
double stuff.
It
Yeah.
creates amnesia for the feedback.
Well, because you're getting good criticism. When I
Yeah.
did my show, I'm doing my talk show, and I've had two already. So the first one, a colleague from HMI called me, like I was driving back home, and he gave me some really good feedback. He goes, "I'm not trying to be critical, but I want the feedback." So every time I do the show, it gets better and better. And I realized doing my show with Joe Tabanella last Thursday. You got to watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, it was terrific.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. But I do know
I
that
was there.
so I made a few faux pas. First of all, I don't know how to come back from a break yet. So I need a little script. So that's that's going to happen. Second, my maiden name is Brock. It had been Hardesty when I was married for 35 years. So for some reason, I hadn't used Hardesty in forever. And all of a sudden now, I don't know where that came from, except that I did talk to my ex-husband that morning. So maybe that's why. But anyway, I didn't, but that's why I had to bring it up. So there are some things. So if I have a script, welcome back, and whatever, I just can read it and I won't have those problems. So my whole point was constructive criticism was what he gave me back. So it helps us improve. And thank you, Steve. And thank you. Okay, let's go on. Okay, now we've got everyday or monthly routine happenings. Will these things happen with you or whatever if you do not think about them? Absolutely. They're always going to be there. They're always going to, no matter what, things are going to happen. It's just part of life, whatever we end up doing. Could you take that same energy you have used in those everyday or monthly activities that are going to happen anyway and put them to something you desire more? Now I'm going to focus a little more today on financial security and money because that seems to relate to people, but you can actually relate this to relationships, and I'll try to touch on that a little bit. Your career move, I'm working with it on losing weight. I got some Corona. I added some Corona weight. Ugh. Anyway, and that's not the beer. I wish, no. Anyway, so I'll be using law of attraction for that. I want to be able to show myself, my universe, and the people I work with. This works in so many wonderful ways, and I'll be using mental bank for it and stuff like that. But these things, I instead of focusing on my own weight where I'm at now, which is not where I want to be, but that's where I'm focusing. So if I keep focusing on it, guess what I'm manifesting? Where I'm at, and I'm going to be successful there, right? So financial security versus relationship security. Or is it relationship security versus financial security? Regardless, it's self-discipline in any direction you go. And that goes back to stress management and procrastination. Self-discipline, some people are just really, really good. I have a girlfriend who she's amazing when it comes to just discipline. She loves football, so she watches football like every time there's a game on, whatever her team is. She, records them so she can watch them over and over again. Crazy. And then she'll sit there, and she's very time management. I don't think she stresses about anything. Her house is pristine. Her life is casual. She makes really good money. And it's kind of like a whatever, it's like, why aren't you married? Kind of thing. She's such a catch. But anyway, self-discipline. I learned a lot from her just watching her. I just wish I could hang out with her more and have that rub off on me a little bit better. But I put these up there, financial security and relationship security, because some people put financial security as their priority, or relationship security is their priority. And that's kind of the difference between the E and the P, sexuality and behavior, whatever, that we work with, with ourselves and with others. It just depends on where your focus is. Mine has always been relationships. That's my priority. However, stepping off the marriage platform, I don't have that paycheck anymore. And I get a little stipend, but now my financial security is my priority. And what kind of a struggle and self-discipline it takes. And talk about stress. Boy, so I have to learn and have learned and I'm learning to just kind of move that along and focus on the things that I do desire in a way that will manifest. Okay, no questions. Okay, demonstrate my law of attraction process. And one of the keys about law of attraction is being as specific as possible. So we're going to personify the subconscious mind. This is going to be my subconscious mind is my fist. Okay, and this is exactly how I explain it to my clients. So I want that. I want, this, whatever this is, X, Y, Z. That's my desire. That's my hope. That's what my desire. And it's for each and everything. You can't just put a blanket statement. I want to be wealthy. Well, you got to define it. What does it look like? How do you think you're going to get there? That kind of thing. You got to be very specific of what wealthy is, because wealthy could be so many different things. So you have to define what it is for you. So we're going to personify the subconscious mind, because remember, it's homeostasis, it's baseline, it's comfort zone. And if we go above comfort zone, we get a little panicked, because the subconscious mind, you're struggling. That struggle. Oh no, we got to get back to baseline. No, and if we fall below baseline, no, we get motivated. Procrastination ends, and but when we're at baseline happens, and that's where procrastination comes in. Everything's normal, and your subconscious mind doesn't really care. It doesn't give a shit about where you're at. It just wants to stay here because it knows where it's at. It's an efficiency machine, and we're just going to be there. This is where we're going to live. And the subconscious mind is going to do everything it can to defend where it's at. This is it. We're just going to be there. No matter what, we're going to stay there. So now you want to make a change. I want to make a change. My desire is, let's say you're working in your practice. I want to start seeing 10 clients, 10 paying, not just 10 clients, but 10 paying clients a week. And I'd like, and you have to decide, okay, write it down. What do they look like? Look like, not like hair and eye features, but they can afford you. They're close to you, in person, remote, if you care about that or not. Looking at this is my 10 clients, and they're going to pay me, $300 a session. I'm throwing numbers out there. So that means 10 clients times 300, that's $3,000 a week. Oh, and you can see that in your mind, $300 a week. So at the end of the week, I can take that 3,000, and I can put it in the bank. So now I'm seeing my deposit, $3,000 deposit in my bank account when I go to look at it. And then let's say every Friday you see that $3,000. You collect the money during the week, and then on Friday or whatever day, I'm just going to give you a demonstration here. And it's, another 3,000, and another 3,000. And you see it as it's happening right now. It's not happening out here. It's just happening inside. So it's that happening, not happened. And I'm wealthy, and I am in wealth. Okay, yeah, but the subconscious mind doesn't look like, I am wealthy. I am happy. I am, there's a dominant reverse reaction, action effect on that. And I'll explain that in a bit. So 10 clients a week. I'm going to list out what that looks like, my bank accounts, people handing me cash, sending me money through Venmo, because that's how I take my payments, through cash, a Venmo, and occasionally I'll take a check, but not very often. So subconscious mind is going to do its thing. I don't see 10 clients a week yet. I'm just going to live here on baseline, because 3,000 a week is a lot of money, and we don't do that. That's like 12,000 a month. And when have you ever made 12,000 a month, right? So forget that. So we're just gonna, we're just not gonna go there. And I'm sorry, somebody was texting me and I don't know why. So 3,000 a week. Yeah, it doesn't like that, because our baseline is 800 a week. That's our baseline. Let's say that's it. Okay. Or maybe it's 600 a week or whatever it is, but that's our baseline. We'll just say 800 for this example. And you're looking at 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Oh, no. We're going to stay here. So you're going to live in your mind at 3,000. And fall in love with it. Create that emotion to it and list all the evidence that gets you there, that you see happening. People handing you money, you're making appointments, you're taking phone calls, you're filling up your schedule. You see it as a reality in your mind, just like it's been explained. Hang on just a second, Steve, I'll be right with you. Just like a little baby learning to walk, they see us walking, they see themselves walking in their head, and now their body is going to catch up to what's in their mind. There isn't one action that we have that didn't start with a thought first. And I don't care if people say, oh, they don't think before they act. Yeah, you can't act without a thought. They just react too quickly. They don't think about it or whatever, pontificate on it or whatever. Go ahead, Steve. You had your hand up.
No, I just noted that this seems very similar to psycho-cybernetics. If you want to get wealthy, but you think of yourself as the kind of person who could never be wealthy, you work as hard as you like, you're not going to get wealthy.
Yeah, it's law of attraction, and that law of attraction.
Now,
Law of attraction.
may I ask,
Yeah.
I am not very visual. I have tried visualizing goals and things over the years and making them as clear as possible, and I get nowhere with it, so I don't do it.
Okay, well, you can. How do you do that? You're going to write it down. You're more of the words kind of guy. Also, close your eyes and count the windows in your house right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I can visualize somewhat, but not clearly enough to really
create that manifestation. And you can do that in hypnosis too. But I would write it down. I'm going to encourage everybody to script what you desire anyway. And 3x5 cards are your friends. Okay. I carry them here next to my bedside, just in the middle of the night. If I get a thought, I can write it down. But, and you have those as your daily meditations. You write them down. So you can't see a picture, but I know I see myself. I know if you're not a visual person, the VKs of NLP, you're not a visual person. Maybe you're more of an internal person.
I'm auditory digital.
Yeah. So you can even create your own auditory and digital. Put it on a 3x5 card and say it out loud to yourself 2 or 3, 10 times a day or whatever. While you're driving, you just get it memorized. You see and hear and you say it and you hear it and you write it. It's good. Hang on. Let me admit Param Jeep. Look at you. I haven't seen her in a long time. She was somebody I encouraged to attend the college a long time ago. Okay. So 3x5 cards, visual aid, whatever it is that helps you. And if you want some more help on that, let me know. So now we've got our subconscious mind at, hey, Param, how you doing, honey? I just miss you. By the way, congratulations on your nuptials. By the way, you look beautiful in your picture. So you're at baseline, you're at subconscious mind. This is where we're at. This is where I want to be. And now you're going to visualize it. You're going to be the auditory digital. You're going to do whatever it is that just puts you in that focus right there. And go ahead, Emily, with your question.
I had, a quick question. And then actually, because of what you just said, I wanted to make a quick comment. I just got these for my kids, just as something fun. They were like, I don't know, $6 on Amazon, basically a $1 piece. And they are invisible writing pens. And then you click a light and you can see what you've written on the paper. And it really is invisible. Like you cannot see it on the paper. It looks like nothing.
Nice.
So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because there may be some people like myself who, for whatever reason, maybe they had a bad experience like myself, where they do not trust, they miss writing. I wrote in a journal and creatively since I was a little tiny child. And then somebody, hacked my diary. And, it was in court and it was just the worst experience ever. And since then I've not been able to write and I miss it. And
Okay,
so
well,
this
this-
has
Perfect.
this has given me that safe feeling. So if somebody lives, I'm alone. I mean, there's no reason why I can't write.
Right.
But some people, have spouses or partners, and if they don't want their, private, manifestations, what they want, maybe it's about them. Maybe it's
Mhm.
they don't want them in their life anymore. So these are great. I just had the idea that these are really
love it.
great.
No, those are really good ideas. I like them. As far as I don't want this person in my life anymore, I wouldn't try to manifest that
I
as
know.
much as yeah. But no, I get what you're saying, and I've had the same problem because I would journal. But you know what? I started looking at it. I'm at a point where I don't care if anybody reads my stuff. If there's something I don't want somebody to ever know about and read, I will journal it and shred it because I
Right.
don't need to read it again. It's in the universe. It's done.
Right.
So it's not, I never go back. I don't know how many journals I have boxed up. I don't look at them. The
I
only
don't
ones
look at
that
them either. But I somehow feel it feels like wrong. I've heard of people keeping journals and then shredding them, and I would love to be able to do that. But there's I feel kind of like connected to like something I've written. I don't want to like get rid of it.
But getting rid of it doesn't mean it's gone. It's
Right.
already in here. It's in the universe, and it doesn't serve you. Ask yourself, does this serve me to keep it? What am I learning from keeping it? Oh, I'm hoarding it. Why do you think you have this connection to it? Why is it that
There's
can't
some kind
just
of anthropological kind of foundational component here, where like I almost think about like maybe my kids will find it one day and they'll be more enlightened about who I was as a person, or maybe
Mhm.
future generations will find it and they'll be like, "Wow, humans were weird back then," or I don't.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, well, and I've had that same thought, but some things I don't want anybody to know. I don't care
Yeah.
how many years in the
Right.
future it goes. So but there are some journals I'd love my kids to see, sometime to see how miserable I was. Not with them, just whatever.
Right.
And then,
Well, for
I
me,
have these
like
wonderful.
journaling.
Go ahead.
I keep a good one and a bad one, actually.
I like
I know
it.
that sounds weird, but and then with the bad one, because I like to keep those categorized and separate. And maybe that's an emo thing, but I don't know. So insight into that, right? No, but with the bad one, I look back on it after a year and I read the whole thing very slowly, very methodically, and see if I've learned the lessons from it. And I just had this big, weeks of, it takes a few weeks to really get through it and look in it. And then I typically toss them,
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
I
like
like
a
it.
kind of lesson. What did I learn? What was I, all
I
that.
really love that because you're not
That's a good
mixing
idea.
energy. You're not mixing the
Right.
negative. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
And it
I
feels
don't.
more purposeful. Like when
Yeah.
I go back, it feels like I'm doing it on purpose with new eyes. Hopefully,
Mhm.
hopefully I've
Because you learned
come
something.
some ways.
I never ever journal anything negative at night. After noon, after 12 o'clock. Anything I journal after 12 o'clock has to be positive because that's when I'm going to sleep on 10 hours.
Yes.
But if I'm going to journal anything, it's got to be right when I wake up in the morning, for however long, up until 12:01, I'm done. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't ask my question
sorry.
yet. That was just
Go
my
ahead.
comment. My quick
Okay.
question is, if we're not worried about something, for example, in my case, because I'm a high phys, it makes sense. I'm not concerned about my financial stability, even though I should be. But it doesn't usually end up being a problem. I'm saying, like, I'm not living in luxury, but at the same time, I'm not suffering and worrying constantly about, am I gonna be able to buy my kids food? Or so like, does that law of attraction kind of apply towards, things that you put your energy into worrying about? Do those things tend to come up in your life and test you? Or is it more like you don't worry about them, so they just don't bother you? I don't know.
I think some things do come up, and I think the universe does. Are you really serious about this change? Because what you're trying to do is make a change in you inside that'll manifest whatever it is you're wanting to attract. So let me ask you, Emily, if you'll share, what's something you would love to attract in your life?
I really just peace and I want to be a beacon, not to my clients only, but to my kids. I mean, they are, the future generation, and they learn by modeling. And I can tell them all the good things. I can have all these great lectures that I give them, but it means nothing. It's nothing.
Mhm.
I need to model, and mostly it's stress management for me. It's me having the tools and not being able to use them. So I want to attract a peaceful, a great way of managing my stress and showing my kids how to do that. That's the most fundamental thing I can teach another human being.
You got to call me sometime, okay?
I would.
But
Add me to that list too. Add me to that conversation.
definitely. So
I
as
love that
far
because
as
I identify with that too. Mhm,
absolutely.
totally.
So when you're looking at modeling, and that was one thing that I had to do too. Now in hypnosis, I had to make, I was able to make some changes very easily, and I appreciated those changes because I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody I was doing mental bank. I didn't tell anybody anything. I just started doing it. And I learned that I used to teach. I taught for over 20 years. And one of the jobs that I had at the school was the emergency coordinator for like earthquakes and, whatever disasters. And I would study it and whatever. And one of the things this guy had said in one of the learnings that I was, videos I was watching is you don't have to, hey, family, let's get together and we're going to do, no, you don't need to do any of that. You just do it yourself. And here's case in point. So I'm married at the time, and I don't know if I ever shared my make the bed story, but it was the one thing that I needed some tangible evidence that hypnosis was a real thing to me. So I told Jake, my hypnotherapist, he's in West LA, amazing man. Anyway, I want to make my bed. Now, when I lived at home, I had to make my bed because otherwise your room got tousled, right? Dad didn't care if your clothes weren't put away, but you had to make your bed. That was like rule number one. I didn't make my bed twice. Now, remember, I was adopted later as a teenager. So this is while I was living at home during those last couple of years before I moved out. So there was no discipline prior to that, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm on my own. And I make my bed twice a month because when I change my sheets, right? And it's not pretty. It's just the bed's made. And then it's not made again until I change my sheets again. So I'm telling Jake, I really should probably, have some order and trying to get some emotional maturity going. I think this is the way to do it. So he asked me, why do I want to make my bed? And I remember that lecture that Navy SEAL gave back in 2014 or whatever, about starting your day with accomplishment. Make your bed. It's the one simple thing you can do for yourself. It's self-care, and it doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to make your bed. So I said accomplishment. I liked the idea. He said, fine. We did the session. This is my first session with him. And that was the beginning of August of 2017. Here we are in August of 2021, 19, 20, 21, 3 years later. And I have probably missed making my bed just a handful of times. And that's because, my boyfriend gets out of bed after me, and sometimes it may not get made. Most of the time it'll get made like later in the day. So how did that happen? Well, when I was living with my ex, I just started making the bed. He would leave at 4 a.m. and then I get up. So, whatever. And then when he got home, the bed was always made. I just started doing it. About 2 or 3 weeks into that, he started making the bed on the weekends. I didn't say a word. He didn't do it well, so I'd have to go behind him because I had a different way. But then I really got into it. I got the pretty pillows and, the nice bedspread and all that. But it's just one thing. I just started modeling what I wanted the behavior of others to be. Eating right. I went to my pantry and I threw out 2 or 3, I don't know, huge 55-gallon bags, trash bags full of crap that was in my pantry. I just threw it out. All the pastas, all the 5-pound bag of sugar, just pancake mix, everything. I just threw it away. I didn't tell my kids, if I'm buying the groceries, I'm going to make the rules. If you don't like it, buy your own. Get your own pantry. Move out. They were adults at the time. So I just did that. And my kids have an understanding that this is bad for you. This kind of stuff is not a good thing to eat. I didn't have to say a word. I just started doing the behavior. It does lessen your stress because they're watching you. Whether you realize it or not, Emily, your kids are watching you. My kids are 26, 30, and 31, and they live far away from me. One lives in Southeast Asia, in the Beverly Hills and Pasadena. They're still watching me. They, even as adults, when they call, when your kids become an adult, this is what will happen. I'm going to put a little side note in here, guys. They're going to call you and say, hey, Mom, I need some advice. And I'm just going to pause. Okay, let me just take a moment here because you're calling me for advice. I just got to take this in. You want my advice. Okay, go ahead. God, just hit me. I'm thinking this is going to be deep. How do you cook a roast? It's like, do I put it in a bag or whatever? I mean, but they are looking at you. Another girlfriend of mine, every Easter, since she was a child, she would go to early morning Easter service where the sun came up. And she was forced to go as a kid. So when she became, married with children, she did that to her children. It didn't matter. You know what? I enjoyed it. Even though I hated it as a kid, I'm doing it anyway. Now her children, her oldest daughter is married with children, and she is starting to do it now. And it's like she looks at that going, wow, she watched me. She was watching me do this, and she's going to early morning service now too on Easter, whatever. So your children somebody is watching you, your behavior, what you do, where you go. And that doesn't mean you need to be paranoid. Do I have stuff coming out of my nose or something? But
that's where a lot of my stress management desire comes from, because I know they're watching me, and not only are they watching me, but my kids, I think all kids, but my kids are very intuitive. They feel my energy. So if I'm stressed, thank you, then they
get stressed.
Exactly.
And it's hi, baby. You can also tell them, hey, mommy needs a timeout. And mommy needs a timeout. Yes, you guys get to watch something on TV. I was controlling. I was a control mother. Okay, now you can watch something on TV because I need to go take a timeout, kind of thing. But it definitely, so that they notice that I'm stressed, and I don't want to deal with anybody when I'm in stress. Because that amygdala, whatever that primitive mind is, it just kind of opens up, and as a mom, you become unreasonable or whatever. But yeah, stress management is learning where it came from and then learning how to control it yourself. But sometimes positive triggers can help you control that. And how does law of attraction help you? See your self-image as less stress. I am so less stressed now than I've ever been in my life. People are just
Have you tried meditation with the kiddos? I mean, I have 9 and 13.
And you know what? I actually have these amazing cards.
Oh, I have those too. Oh my God, we do those at night.
Clients. I'm using when I start. Yeah. I'm using these for clients. They are
what
amazing.
Is it?
They're just sweetie, you hurt my back. They're just these amazing kid meditation cards, but they're basically hypnosis scripts on the back, and they have these beautiful images. Each card. So each card is for something like letting go, forgiveness.
Record those. You should record those.
They're amazing. I will. I am.
They're awesome. I actually use the imagery intros, I'll do Wave of Comfort, or I'll do some kind of imagery intro, and then I'll do the card, and then I'll count them up kind of thing. And we do those before bed, and the kids just sleep so much better since doing that. And mine are 9 and 13, but they're getting to a point. The 9-year-old really gravitates towards meditation now.
Good.
And it's awesome because I take an hour every day. Wow. And for meditation and a nap, all in one, a 20-minute, 30-minute meditation, then a nap afterwards. And I'm good. And that's mid-afternoon. And
that's
right. I take those cards. I take those cards and I spread them out on the carpet and let the images show. And then I let each kid pick out what they want based on the image, and then we do those together. And so we just do
it's like a card deck, Ilah. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just got them on Amazon, and we've had them for a year.
What's the name of them? If you can put it in
let me grab. Yeah, it's it's called Imagine.
They're only
it's a card deck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's called Meditation Cards for Kids, and it's called Imagine.
I like it.
I don't know. I don't see the author on it because I only have let's see here. And it's created and distributed by Imagine Meditations, LLC. And also it has www.theimaginecards.com.
Imagine cards. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they're really cool.
Great
I mean, the
resource.
kids
Yeah.
love them, and then I've made up things from them, and that's so funny, Emily. You have those.
That's great. No, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Emily, you had said, I said, record those, and you're like, I'm going to, I will. And I had to go back to word of lack, because it's, you want to help yourself. You want to record those. So start deciding what that looks like. And we'll get into how to do that. Okay, we did that. Okay, so we're going back to my process here. Okay, so subconscious mind and desire. Okay, now I'm going to live in my desires if it's actually happening. But here's the subconscious mind. What are you doing? I'm just having fun here, but thank you for trying to protect me. Just you do your job. I'm going to do this. Remember, conscious is 12% of our energy power, and that's what affects us. But this is the 88%. This is where change has to occur. It's going to be a struggle. I don't remember what the next one. Oh yeah. So it's going to be a struggle. So we're like, but hey, what do you think you're doing? A week goes by and you've done this 4 times a day for 10 or 15 minutes consistently every single day. You're focusing your 3x5 card or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Be very specific about it. And that's what you're focusing on a few minutes, 3-4 times a day at least. Okay. If you can do it all the time. But here's your subconscious mind. Hey, it's a week now. Nothing's happening. Why don't you just come back here and just come back? And then it's like this tug of war happening between your subconscious mind and this desire that you're really focusing on. And it's like really poking and struggling and trying to get you to resist, because this is comfort zone. We want to stay here where you're trying to go outside of it. No, it's going to struggle because it likes to just keep things the same, right? So it's going to, and 2 weeks go by and the struggle might be getting worse. If you miss a day, you start over. The point is, you want to do this consistently for like 21 days without fail. If you miss a day, start over your new 21 day. The reason 21 days, there's something about 21 days. They used to say, or I've heard it missaid, it takes 21 days to make a habit, and that's a fallacy. So third week comes by, trucks, come on, let's move it up. She's not changing. She keeps doing the stupid thing. She's told us to F off a few times, but we're just going to back up the truck. Come on, boys, subconscious mind people, let's go. Let's bring her back. She's not budging. She is staying with this. So the subconscious mind has a choice. And 3 weeks in, it's going to make a choice. It'll keep wanting, it not wanting, but it wants to pull you back, and it's going to keep struggling, and it doesn't like struggle. It likes comfort zone. And about that 3-week mark, if you've been consistent, it's going to like, you know what? We might as well join her because she ain't budging. And now you have this new baseline. New homeostasis is starting. The habit is just now starting. And you will start attracting even before then. Attraction. The attraction happens. It's a law. The law of gravity, law of humanity. It's a universal law. You will attract it. Whatever it is that's in your head. And I'm going to give you some examples here, just how things have happened to me in the last couple of years. It's just phenomenal. The only way I can explain it is this is the law of attraction. You can't, whether you believe it or not, it's happening all the time. Anyway, vision boards, Steve, are really good for you too. Putting what you desire on vision boards with pictures and words and whatever, and just looking at it.
The research shows that they're counterproductive. And if instead you put what you need to be doing on the vision board in order to achieve your goals, you're more likely to get there.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I believe vision boards of what you desire, because you're manifesting it as if it's happening right now. It's all happening right now in your head. So what you're happening right now on the vision board, I'm going to look at my self-image or put my words up or my affirmations for my weight loss, for example, my financial security. This is what I need to be doing it's going to be attracting. I know what I need to do. I need to just keep moving forward. I'm not going to like sit around and wait for it to happen.
But I think if we do what you just said, and if we're very specific, then when we look at those images that we've made on the image board, we already know what we need to do to get to those things because we've already specifically gone over those things.
Mm-hmm.
So the vision board is very much a reinforcement. It's,
yes,
you know.
Yes. And I've heard it said more, it's helped more than hurt. Have you ever seen that movie, Steve, called The Secret? Steve?
I didn't know I was muted. No, I haven't.
I highly recommend you watch it. Highly recommend. It's a kind of a 101 on law of attraction, but it's very profound. They even have a sequel now to it. I haven't seen the sequel, but it's but the first one really identifies and defines, and it's not that long. It's a documentary. The guy that wrote the book Chicken Soup for the Soul, Plato used the secret, the law of attraction. So many of our past leaderships in our world have used law of attraction to get where they want to go. So highly recommend watching that movie, The Secret. It's a really good resource.
I watched it with my then 10-year-old, and it's exactly what you say it is. And then the number two one, we haven't watched it, but from what I remember, the trailer, whatever that I saw, it is because people complain that The Secret doesn't work when in fact it does. What's missing is exactly what you've been talking about, which is you need to be very specific. And you need to actually do things to get to those things. And that's what the two does. The two goes more specific. It goes deeper, I think.
Right. Well, and the thing is, being very specific actually will help. Oh, the name of the movie. Thank you. The Secret. It's on Netflix right now. I'm sure you can find it. There's a book on it called The Secret. It's got that yellow background with the big S and the red seal, wax seal, whatever. But the whole point is, I know what I need to do. My manifestation is financial security. That's my goal. And what is financial? There's a lot of things that I need to do to get there. And I'm getting there. It's one step at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So my subconscious mind and we go through a little battle, but now my battles are all positive. So when it says, why are you feeling, when it's like, wants to take me back to baseline or whatever. Thank you. But why? Why do we want to go backwards? It would be easy for me to go back and live the life that I had because I'm so used to that. But man, am I having the time of my life right where I'm at right now. It's like, and it can only get better from here. So vision boards, my vision board, it's at the office. It's just full of affirmations. I love affirmations. They're just like a really good resource for me. So my demonstrations here. So you got subconscious mind, it's at baseline. It's going to struggle with you to get where you need to be. And you're just thinking and living your life normal like you are. And you're just looking at putting the energy out. Scientifically proven, our energy field is at least 5 feet around us, all around us. So when you get near somebody, like attracts like. So if you're a positive person, you're putting out positive energy, and you get near somebody who's like you, who has that same, you click. But if you're near somebody, you ever been near somebody, their vibe is just not, it's just, ew. I've had that situation on many occasions where I got to get away from them. And sometimes 5 feet isn't far enough for me. I have to get away, like go outside, reground myself before I go back in the building. And then I can just stay as far away from them as I can so I don't get into their energy field, because it just really made me feeling of sick. It's just, I can't be in that kind of energy. I can't be around that kind of, it's easy to drag someone down. And you know what? And everybody has their moment of influence. So, and that Peter principle, that everybody reaches their level of incompetence or their vulnerabilities or whatever. So I am just going to surround myself with positive people, help everybody that needs it or wants it from me. But if they're negative or they're too negative or they're not listening, I can help them. So that's kind of like my process, how I would explain it. And then let me go back to my slides here. Okay, how it's going to happen. So you've got this thing, you're working on it, you're looking at your vision board, you're doing your 3x5 cards. I wouldn't recommend getting a bunch of books. this is the one that Joe Tabanella, he recommended. It's by Victoria Gallagher, The Practical Law of Attraction. It's just a really good book, and she really does it in layman terms and gives you exercises and stuff to do. And I created a page out of her book, and I'll post it on the group page. It's about let me just pull that page up. I was going to put it in the PowerPoint, and I ran out of time, I forgot. But it kind of looks like this. It just goes into, a daily what your desires and intentions are, what you're grateful for, what can you give today, celebrate your victories, your manifestations, or whatever. Everything's a win. So, and there's like other exercises and such. And we're going to do one of the exercises that Joe did. So struggle, resistance, and then we have acceptance, our inner reality versus our imaginary. So the reality, it's none of our business how anything happens. And I'm going to try and be very careful how I explain this, because it does involve, other people. I want to be very sensitive, and I don't know how far the reach of this video will go. But I do want you to share it. So 2 years ago, I wrote down in my journal some money that I needed for certain things. It totaled $5,441. And I wrote it in my journal. And I didn't think much of it past that. I just put it in there, and I'll just, it's out in the universe. This is kind of what I need. How it's going to happen, I don't know, because I was broker than Job's turkey back then, trying to get out on my own and do my own thing. And so 6 months go by, and I meet, this amazing man, and we fall madly in love. And he died 65 days after we met because he was in a motorcycle accident. Okay. So I go to his place to pick up all my personal stuff. He wasn't divorced yet. His wife lived in Georgia. She was flying out the next day, and I knew, because she didn't like me, obviously, because in her mind, there's, whatever, she had filed for divorce, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go to his place, pick up all my personal items. I picked up anything. I mean, he said I could borrow some things. And so I took that too. I grabbed his Bible. I had his phone. I took stuff, just everything that, I only had one chance of anything that would be helpful for me to remember him by, kind of thing. So when I got home, I'm crying. I'm, a mess. The next day, I started to look through the stuff that I brought, and there was $5,441 laying there on the counter. Now, I don't know. That was a very precise amount of money. And it's none of my business how it happens. I would have gladly not had the money, but if that's for whatever reason, I think that his death had a lot to do with the situation he was in with his wife. And there was some universal continuum on that or whatever. But that was surreal to me. That was a moment of OMG kind of thing. A couple of years ago, I was living in Encino, California, about a mile from the school. And I had was on my way to school, and I had just had a thought, I really need some more experience in this whole law of attraction thing. I want to have, and hypnosis and hypnotherapy. I wanted to have more experience. So I just made some notes, if I work in a rehab, then I'll get some experience. So I looked, and the Central Valley, the San Fernando Valley, lots of rehabs. Okay, so what do I need? I need a portfolio, I need business cards, I need a brochure. I just made some quick notes, and then I went off because I was working at the school at the time in their distance education program. So I go to school, and Lori calls me, a girlfriend of mine, and she's like, hey, Ilah, I need a hypnotherapist. Well, how can I help you? Well, not me so much as my friend Susan. Okay, so I talked to Susan. Susan, Lori says you need a hypnotherapist. Well, I do, but it's not for me. It's for my friend, Dr. So-and-so. Oh, okay. So I get his number. I call him. Now, these phone calls happen within 15 minutes of each other. Okay. So I called Dr. Rios. Hey, this is Ilah. Susan said that you need a hypnotherapist. How can I help you? He goes, yes, I do. Now, remember, I'm looking for rehabs, sober living homes, someplace where I can use hypnotherapy. And he said to me, I'm looking for somebody who can go to a sober living home in Calabasas and work with these well, they were kids, they were in their early 20s. And, because they're coming off of meth, and their anxiety level is so high when you come off of meth. Can you do biofeedback? It's like, oh, absolutely. That was on a Monday, and Tuesday night we were having an interview. I had 7 new clients on Thursday morning. And for 4 weeks, I was hired for 4 weeks to go once a week and work with these 7 kids, or these people, in their addictions, and just work on just the relaxation part. So that was another opportunity that it was a pure thought of law of attraction. And the law of attraction was showing me that it does work. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. Never be surprised, because you're manifesting it. Don't be surprised when it happens, because it's what you wanted, right? So why be surprised about it? Just thank the universe for it. There was a time when, I'm going to say, it was last month, the beginning of July, and I was standing in the kitchen, between the kitchen and the living room, and I just looked at my boyfriend and I said, oh, I'm going to have to law of attraction some money, because I have bills to pay. And, I didn't have enough clients that particular week to make goal. So I'll just law of attraction money. No big deal. While I'm saying the word, I said the words, I have to law of attraction some money. As I said the word money, my phone chimed. Well, I was collecting unemployment last year, and it did stop, but they owed me 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks came in right at that moment. I said money. I'm like, oh my God, thank you, universe. So I was not expecting it, how it happens, none of my business. Okay, great. So I was just like I was obviously super happy. This past week, again, I didn't make my goal on my income, but that's okay. Because you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. By Wednesday, before Monday, Tuesday, I was starting to get that little, old feelings of how I used to be with, I gotta, ooh, what am I going to, what? I'm just not going to worry about it. So Wednesday morning, I'm just going to let it go. I'll be right with you, Laura. And you know what? I made goal. So it's the most amazing thing. It's none of my business how it happens. It just happens. Things just happen. I put my focus on, I'm going to be fine. I am fine. I am working towards my fine. I not just am fine. Everything's happening right now in my head as if it's supposed to. What you got going, Laura? Talk to me.
Well, yeah, I don't know how to form it into a question exactly, but I'll just put it out there. So I think what I've noticed, like in my life, I have no problem manifesting something like money. I don't feel like I have blocks to money. I don't feel like anything negative there or anything in my subconscious there, and that's fine. But that's like good. For me is health, that's my thing. And so if it is something that you feel like, there's all these areas in your life where you're like, that's good, that's good, that's good. But that one is like rarely good. So what is going on, And so when you have a certain block like that in a certain area of your life, how does law of attraction fit into that? Like, I mean, obviously I would apply a law of attraction, perhaps to health, maybe. I mean, I guess like for me, I have an autoimmune illness. I have rheumatoid arthritis. So it's kind of like my Achilles heel. It's like, yeah, I have so much, going on in life. That's wonderful. Great. Manifest money for ridiculous things. And it comes from ridiculous places. And I don't ask any questions, but I don't have that block there. It's like always
and yours is on
my lap. Mine is health.
So you have health.
When you
so
have that thing,
because
I can apply that mindset to everything, but it just seemed to get stuck on
so
one thing.
You need a new self-image of what first of all, what you would like to physically be. There's scientific evidence. I think it was John Milton that said this. There was and it might have been Joe, but a guy had no pelvic bone on one of his hips. It was just, you look at the x-ray and you saw the femur and then nothing. It was nothing. So he obviously there was an issue there. So he just imagined his self-image, a nozzle, like a gas nozzle on his hip every day for a few minutes every day. And out of the nozzle was bone. And it was 3 or 4 months later, they couldn't understand why bone was there when the x-rays show there was no bone.
Mm.
You know, so your
Mhm.
self-image of you without rheumatoid arthritis, will it ever go away? I don't know, but maybe your
Remission.
body,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's possible.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you know, the inflammation, Joe was talking about, he was someplace where it was really cold and he didn't have enough cold jacket on or something like that.
Mhm.
So he was in this cold environment. I don't remember all the details, just so cold. And he just like, you know what? I'm just going to think about not being cold. So he was thinking about what it would be like to feel his body warm. So he was just putting that really strongly in his mind. And everybody else had parkas on and he had just a shirt. He was ready to take that off. He rarely goes with a jacket anymore because of that. You know, he had he has really bad knees. So he wanted to bend it, you know, do squats. And he couldn't do squats. He could barely bend. His knees, I don't know if they're arthritic, just really bad knees. And he just imagined himself not only squatting, but he wanted to do the bounce with the little boing in it, you know, so animated. And I don't know, he just kept imagining himself squatting as if he was actually doing it in his head. Again, subconscious mind's going to poke at you, say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. But guess, I don't know, 2-3 months, maybe not even that long, he was bouncing. He wanted to do 200 push-ups. You know, he can get through 3. You know, and he did that, just imagined himself doing 200 push-ups, the physicality of what that looks like, living in it. For you, rheumatoid arthritis, whatever that physical pain is that you're feeling, you know, imagine because it's your imagination. What would it feel like to not have that? You have had moments when you didn't have pain. So camp on that.
Yeah. And it's so weird. Like in meditation, there's times where I will absolutely feel no pain, like that niggling isn't there, you know, of like just that underlying pain. And it's like, oh my gosh, like it's almost a snap that happens in my head and then it's gone. But then of course it comes back because I get the anxiety. Like I get actually like, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because your subconscious mind, it doesn't care if you have pain or not.
Am I alive? Am I alive?
Yeah.
If I don't feel
What's
pain.
going
Because
on?
the irony of it is before I got RA, it was like I would work out 6 days a week and I would do heavy lifting and I would do, you know, all this exercise. So I didn't even know life before pain, even before that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And a little timeline therapy might be useful to you too. But imagining yourself back at the gym, working out.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself, whatever your favorite exercise is, see yourself doing that pain-free. The normal pain you would
like
normally
every
feel.
day, little bouts of doing it every single day.
Every single day. It's like at least 3 times, 5 minutes a day is the request. If you can do it more than that, just put that image out there. See yourself. Get an old picture of you when you were not in pain.
Yeah.
Put it on a vision board. Get it out there. But that's how you can have law of attraction will work. I absolutely believe it. Joseph Murphy, he's an author, The Miracle Power of Your Mind, and he's written many books. But one of the things he says in his book is people could probably, and I say probably, I don't know if he said the word probably, you know, amputees can grow back their arm. The reason nobody does is because no one's ever tried it. But it's you know, he believes it's absolutely possible that our minds are strong enough to recreate what we've lost. So
yeah, I love that. No, actually, I'm starting to put into practice because I just recently watched the replay of your interview with Joe Tabanella and the reverse injury sort of thing. Like I fell asleep, you know, like right after I watched it, I fell asleep and like in my sleep, I feel like I was doing that, like taking the steps backwards to it. And it was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're going next.
Okay.
Creating your evidence.
Sorry. Anyway, thank you for that because
no problem.
I think I withhold I don't do a lot with that. Like it's not out there. I don't have anything on vision wise, you know, or any images of that. Like I don't do a lot towards that. I just want it. I just want it. But like I don't do anything.
What is want?
Yeah.
Word of lack. You'll get what you want. Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're manifesting. Want.
Yeah.
As opposed to a reality. So creating that evidence, setting your intention. So this is something that I learned that Joe Tabanella taught, reverse engineering your goals. Present day, No problem. Goals achieved. So you write, this is something you would do for every single goal that you want. Okay. I know it's a word of luck, but these are just your goal list. Okay. And remember, John Kappas even said, and I believe it, your mind is a goal machine. Okay. So you put your goal in the circle, put your goal right here in that circle. And you can even put a date when you would like to achieve it. Okay. So then you ask yourself on this line right here, ask yourself, can you guys see me moving my cursor? I don't know if you can see me moving my cursor. Okay, good. So on this line right here, you put down, what is the last thing I did before I reached my goal? Now you see how I'm talking. You're in your goal. Today's August 1st. So let's say I want to reach a goal of $12,000 this month by August 31st. Okay. So I might put August 31st, $12,000 this month. That's my goal. Okay. Well, what was the one thing I did? And don't say, oh, I made 11,000. No. By August 31st, I will have accrued $12,000 in my bank account. Okay. What I got to be specific what that is. But what did I do? What happened either that week before I actually, did I see my schedule full, of potential, what's going to take? That's $4,000 a week. So I now see every single week what, at whatever it is my rates are. And now, okay, I got to break that down. So that last week, I'm going to get my goal. Maybe it was 16,000, the week before or whatever. So every week that's one of my goals. Every week I have $4,000. So that last line is realizing that every single week I had $4,000 goal achieved. But what was happening before that? The one before. Okay, so using my imagination, you just make shit up. Okay, just make it up. It doesn't matter what it is. You have an imagination, and if Rod Serling can make up Twilight Zone and whoever it was that did Star Trek, all that stuff, some of that stuff is coming to fruition today because his imagination is whatever you want it to be. So make it up. So, I got, the 2 weeks in, I got 10 phone calls for new clients. This first week right now in August, I hired, it was a huge step. I hired my marketing person that I've been promoting, Sandra Parker from the press room. She's been helping me a little bit here and there, but I've actually hired her now to be my marketing person. And I'm waiting to see how it works, because if she's going to help, what she's able to do for the amount of money she's charging, I want to see the results. You know what? And I'll say it here, and it's being recorded. That's my goal, 12,000 this month. So it's August 1st. So let's see what happens, but I'm not going to worry about it. That's just my goal. That's happy. And I'm expecting, law of expectation. I'm expecting to achieve it. Now, where it's going to happen and how, because I do sign language interpreting, and the EDD still owes me 2 more weeks. So, but I don't care. It's just like maybe someone's got some odd jobs. Maybe because I'm selling advertising for my show. But remember, it's none of my business how it happens. I know there's these other sources of income that have potential. Okay, great. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it, but I'm going to do whatever I can to achieve that goal while I'm achieving that goal. So, or whatever, maybe your goal at the end of the month is to have had 40 sessions in 1 month. You would love to have 40 sessions in a month, and to me, that's a week's worth, right? So it just, whatever your goal is, maybe it's I want to be able to, I don't know, just pick something. You want to be a good example to your children. So for your goal for the month of August, you're going to be like okay, so by the end of August, I will have achieved stress management. I will have realized that my stress level went from a 10 to a 0 in a month because I did all of these other steps. And what was that last step that you did to get you to that achieve? And you go backwards all the way. You just make that list backwards. You're reverse engineering your goal all the way back to present day. And now you have your intention. your list of evidence that things are happening. You can set it up. Now you can use it in your mental bank book. This is now the steps that can go right as your value events. And this I believe works with law of attraction so beautifully. So yeah, but you got to go backwards. And it's like, I don't know. Well, you call me and talk to me about it. We'll brainstorm together or whatever. Or maybe I'll do another workshop just on reversing goals, and we can just, bring everybody and just have an actual workshop where we actually do something with that. But highly recommend. When I teach mental bank, I have everybody do this at the beginning, because people don't understand value events. No matter how you explain them. Well, they're just goals with the things you're supposed to do so that you just get paid for whatever. Rheumatoid arthritis, to be pain free at the end of the month forever. It doesn't have to be for a day, forever. Why not? Just pain free till the end of the month. Okay, I'm going to work on, this is my goal. So on, the week before, I'm noticing that I have less and less pain, or whatever it is, the steps that you believe you need to take. Now, maybe none of them happen. Maybe all of them happen, but it doesn't matter, because the goal to be achieved, it's going to happen. It's happening. Always put that gerund in there. Happening. It's all happening right now.
I love that. Real quick, so for
constant,
clients and law of attraction, because I do have a client who I had in the past for something else, and now he wants to do more law of attraction type stuff. And so, but doesn't necessarily believe it. So my question is twofold. Like, does a person have to completely be sold on it, believe in it? And then the second question would be would you use hypnosis for
each
each step, or for at least the first couple steps to get him going, to reinforce his, steps?
Get him on this. Get him on mental bank. That's going to help.
I have extras.
Yeah. Somebody who is not in belief, just put them on mental bank and let them know this works alongside law of attraction. Hypnosis, when you found out their goals achieved, you have them imagine their new self-image in that goal. Now it's embedded into their subconscious mind, permanently embedded, to work for them every day in their outer wake life. And I say these words, whether you believe it or not, whether you realize it or not. No, I don't say believe. Whether you notice it or not, it is embedded in your subconscious mind.
I like that.
So goals start to be achieved. So I didn't know anything about law of attraction. I didn't know. We do it all the time. And you can use any example you want, other people's example, and get your own examples going. Because one of the things that's going to help clients is if they see you doing what it is you want to teach. Practice what you preach.
I actually it's funny. I picked that up when you were talking about your own, and I was like, oh, I should get a list of my own things that,
absolutely.
That's so cool.
Just get a list of things going. And I mean, I'll use other people's just because they're sometimes sound better than mine to sound better, but reverse engineer your goals. This is just on a piece of paper. Put this on your vision board. You've got value events now for mental bank. You've got evidence as things are starting to happen. You can check them off. Sometimes you may not even realize anything's happening, or these things are happening. The whole list here, you may not realize any of this is going on. You're just living your life, achieving your goal. But every goal you have, if you got 15 goals, make 15 of these and just set them up. Make a big list, or get one of those big, huge pieces of paper on your wall. Write them out, make them big circle, put them out there, and you can look at them every day, or not, just write it out. But now you know what they are. Okay. Next, evidence continued. These are the elements you'll need to know that your universe is helping you achieve your stated intention. These are your intentions. These are your evidence. This here, the goal achieved. This is what your stated intention is. And this is where, you're going to just let the universe know. I say things out loud when I want, and the universe reads your thoughts, because there's energy in thought. Every time we have a thought, there's scientific evidence, again, that shows that the brain and neurons and protons and all that, they all interconnect for every thought. So I know that the universe can read my thoughts, but I like to say it out loud because I want to say it. I want to hear it when I say it, and I think it and say it and hear it. I get this little trifecta, whatever. Okay, so these are the elements you need to know that your universe will help you achieve your stated intention. The penny. So for people, and this can work for rheumatoid arthritis, for my weight loss, for my financial security, for clients, whatever. But I use the penny because it was in one of the, I've got 2 law of attraction books. I think it's only 2. You don't need to get a lot of them, but I just took elements out of all of them and they all say the same thing. Anyway, but every time you find a penny, it's a sign. Now, maybe yours isn't the penny. The penny could be a symbol for, like me, I'm looking for financial security. So, and I'm trying to manifest that. So every time I see a penny or any kind of money floating around, I go, what? Thank you, universe. It's evidence that it's working with you. It wants you to be happy. The universe wants your happiness. Can you imagine if 8 billion people on this planet were to just have this idea of happiness, just happiness, and we all were manifesting happiness? The interconnection of our earth would be so strong. You know, the ozone layer would repair itself in an instant, you know? So if your symbol isn't the penny, maybe it's something else. Maybe your symbol for rheumatoid arthritis, create one, or ask the universe to show you what's the symbol for my rheumatoid arthritis.
I love that.
Yeah, it could. I mean, and just show me this. Just show it to me. Don't look for it, but don't be looking for it. No, I'm going to go out and I'm going to see it. No, just go and do your thing. If there's, it's kind of interesting. This kind of thought just popped up because there's an antique store around the corner from my house, and I love it. I can't go in there because I can only go in there when I have no money to spend, because then I'm safe, kind of thing. But you can go. But like just an antique store, for example. You can go in there and there's a symbol that you created for what you're manifesting. And maybe you see it in an antique store or at the little Mexican burrito place down the street, or maybe you see it as you're cleaning out the garage, or, you know, you see that symbol when you're cleaning your car or doing the laundry, just in everyday life activities. You see it. That symbol will be there somewhere along the way. And it's showing you, universe, it's showing you, yeah, we got your back. So the penny, the story of the penny. But now what? Now what do we do? Clear the crap of negativism, those little dots of doubt. So remember I was saying, here's our subconscious mind and here's where we want to be. Okay, so I'm really focusing on this, but down here is that little dot. Yeah, I hope. I want $12,000 this month. Yeah, I hope. Oh, hopefully it happens. I don't know. Okay, that's where this is. That's where protection and defense are going to defend you, because it's not used to the idea of $12,000 a month. That's why you got to live it in your mind. So if you win the lottery, you're going to go way above your baseline, and it's going to sabotage all of that. So now I've got to get my mind so I don't sabotage myself. So, you know, I have support team and I have people around me that, you know, encouraging and whatever. And if you don't have that, you got to work on your own support team. This little, what's most dominant? This is where the law of reverse action comes in. Your desired outcome is your most dominant, or is it the doubt? Doubt it's going to happen. So it always allows a way out, the reverse action. So if it doesn't happen, I'll be surprised if it does. That's lack. If you're looking for a way out, just then ask yourself, why? Isn't this my desire? And if you're asking yourself why, well, then is this what you really want? Is this a goal that you really want to achieve? And if you don't, then change it. Change it to something you really desire. You have the right to change it daily if you want, but get focused on what that is. The law says a person will respond to the stronger part of a suggestion if the alternative is presented with a considerably weaker point. You can open your eyes if you want to, but the more you try, the harder it becomes. Okay, so there's the law of reverse action. You can just suggest to yourself, you know, I can try to not manifest it, but the more I try not, the more it happens. So which one's going to be my stronger dominant? It's going to be try harder to, well, not even try, but focus more. I probably use the wrong words. I would think more like the word focus instead of try, but I use those words in hypnosis with my clients. But use the word, you know, just notice when you're really trying to focus, you got your 3x5 card, you're focusing. And if you know Abraham Hicks and his 68-second rule of focusing on your desire, and if you don't, I'll go over it later if you remind me. And you're trying to, good, I have plenty of time, focusing on it, just really, and nothing else matters for those few minutes, 3-4 times a day. You're just on that. You're meditating on that. You're putting yourself in a state of hypnosis, a state of trance for that thing that you desire, that whatever XYZ is, that's yours. And anytime doubt tries to come in, push it away, because it'll be there when you're done. And all that doubt is your baseline of your subconscious mind saying, hey, what do you think you're doing? And I look at it saying, I don't need you right now. Get away from me, that kind of thing. So you do your job and do your protection and all that. And I'm just going to do this because I like it. It makes me feel good. I'm just going to live in it because I have fun. So you want to have fun because we want to go towards things that please. So if this pleases you, enjoy it, live it, love it, fall in love with it, be just so into it. It's yours. It's happening. And don't be surprised when it does, because it's there. Now, let's say you see an opportunity, and this is a big one. There it is. There's my goal. Yes, and there's the opportunity. And it just slipped through your fingers through no fault of your own. It was so promising. What do you do? What do we naturally do? Oh, no. Shrug your shoulders. That doesn't matter, because you know what? It's okay. How many times we have clients list it up in our schedule, and then, half of them cancel. Now I'm not going to make my goal this week. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you know what? Something George said, and maybe it's my suggestibility, but I really took it to heart when he was talking about the mental bank. Sometimes you go in the negative on a particular day, because the amount of money you made and your reality income, and it puts you in a negative, and you have to subtract that day. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Because the one thing he said, look, there's always more. There's always more. So let's say I messed up on my diet and I didn't eat right today. It's okay. I'll do fine tomorrow. I'm going to reach my goal. My goal's there. It doesn't matter. The opportunity for, maybe a hospital is looking at me to be their hypnotherapist. Okay. And I'm so excited about it. But I put my resume out to like maybe 10 hospitals, and one has called me. And I get in there and we do great. And they're ready to give me the package. And at the last minute, you know what? We're going to go with this other person instead. I can be devastated. It doesn't matter. If my intention is I want to work in the hospital as a hypnotherapist, that's still my intention. That hasn't changed. And I'm not going to let that part of the energy. It's just learning and feedback and moving forward. Am I going to give up? No. But what do we tend to do? Oh, well. And then we race, because now we're below baseline. We got to get motivated. We got to get back to homeostasis. Forget homeostasis. You know what? It's doing its job, no matter whether we think about it or not. If I want to work in a hospital doing hypnotherapy, then that's my goal. I got to live it in my mind as if it's happening all the time. And maybe another opportunity may present itself, and maybe it'll slip through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if it happens. Law of attraction says you're living it in your head as if it's happening already, not in the past, but right now. So it doesn't matter if it ever happens in the outer universe, because it is going to happen, because you're attracting it, and it's just going with the flow. And I don't know how else to explain that, but that's law of attraction. So no more dots of doubt. Attitude versus frustration. And we can get, that's just what I was talking about. You get the opportunity coming in, and you see it, you're excited, but you know what? It's like, I expect this to happen. I have a little notepad on my phone, and on January 1st or 2nd, I don't know, the first week of January, I wrote down my expectations for 2021. It's a long list. The law of expectation. I expect these things to happen. Now, that doesn't mean I'm just going to sit around and do nothing. So this is in January, make this list, and I'm going to be seeing clients, and I'm going to be opening my practice, and I'm going to be blah, 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 blah. And I didn't just do gonna, I have an office. I don't have an office. I have an office suite, and I have 3 offices in my suite that I can rent out to other people. Oh, it even got better. Thank you, universe. That was my expectation. And my expectation is I'm going to be the premier hypnotherapist of Central Valley, California. That's my expectation because I'm doing the work to get there. Maybe I won't be the premier hypnotherapist of Central Valley. Maybe I'll be the premier hypnotherapist someplace else. I don't care. I'm going to be the premier hypnotherapist somewhere because that's a goal. And it happens as it happens. And I'm not going to worry about the lease rent I have to pay because it's not a lot of money. I know it's my expectation is I'm always going to make my bills. So again, not putting any energy. Otherwise, you get frustrated. You get frustrated because you want to be such a good example to your children because, oh, but what if you know what? It's not a failure. So you aren't the best example every day. I failed my children more than anybody else can fail because they're my kids and I'm their parent. And they're looking at me. Now they know what not to do or what to do. So it took Edison 232 times to learn how not to do a light bulb before the light bulb became in existence. So you might find 75 different ways how not to do something until you keep doing it. So it's learning to just know, just expect. And mistakes are the only way we learn the feedback. I had to start dating. I didn't have to. I chose to start dating after I left my marriage. I hadn't dated in 37 years. I had no idea what to do. I was freaking out. It's like, oh, but I would like to have somebody in my life, kind of thing. So now I'm just going to go out. My first week was a train wreck. I'm fresh blood on all these new dating sites, and I got attacked, verbally, not like bad or anything, just a lot of attention focus, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I killed it all. So then I got regrouped and all that, and now I got a coach and learned how to do it. So now I'm just going out for coffee, getting feedback. How am I supposed to behave? What am I supposed to do? How do I, manifest the man of my dreams? So it took me a couple of years and 200 dates, and here he is, But it was frustrating. But then I decided I'm not going to worry about it. I thought I had met the man of my dreams 2 years ago, but for whatever reason that didn't work out. But it gave me impetus to move forward, focus on my career, my living situation, my life. And just move forward. Just keep moving forward. Always moving forward with a smile on my face. Any one of you, my phone number is on the slides, all these slides. Any one of you can call me 24/7. I will answer my phone, always smiling, always happy, because I never wake up unhappy. I always wake up happy. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what kind of bad news I just got. I always wake up happy because I have a choice. I can be a good attitude because that will set my day, or I can be frustrated. And I don't remember if I've ever had a bad day, where I woke up in a bad mood. So your attitude is key. Got to have the right attitude or you end up just being frustrated. Attitude for your law of attraction. Is that it? No, that's not it. That's got to be more. Okay, so a brief thing on limiting beliefs. Emily, you believe that you're trying to be the best example. And I think some of what you're saying, you have some limiting beliefs in how to address that. So what are you?
That was me.
Yeah. How are you? It's like there's these things. So the question you need to ask yourself first is, what is my limiting belief that I know isn't true, but I believe it? Or that if you want to, or what is your limiting belief?
That I'm never going to be good enough for my kids. I'm never going to be enough. I'm never going to give them enough.
And that's not true. So when you're working with limiting beliefs, and I will do a whole segment on that, but when you're working with limiting beliefs, there's 6 different steps to it. And I don't have enough time to go through all of them, but I'd be happy to go through all of them with you. But it's then it's creating a symbol for that I'm not good enough, whatever that statement is. Create a symbol for it. Then you have to create the submodalities to it. What color is it? What size is it? Where's it located? Is it a picture? Is it in a frame? Is it moving? Is it still? Is it panoramic? Do you hear anything? Is it textured? Sound? Whatever. You have to create all the submodalities to it and then move it aside and then do the next one. What do you believe is true? And then you believe, what do you know is what's true that you used to believe wasn't true, but now for sure it is true. Then you go through the next, another symbol, all the questions, the submodalities. Then you go through the next one. What's something is absolute, an absolute truth? The earth is round, kind of thing. And there's, I don't have my papers with me. There's one about, what would you prefer to believe that's opposite of the first of your limiting belief? You put that in there, and then what you're going to do is you're collapsing the number 1. The whole goal is to collapse number 1 and to make it number 6. The 6 steps. Okay, but you got to your mind has to go through these little stages of collapsing it. And I've done some modifications that work well on the limiting beliefs, but it's helped to clear. You got to clear this. You got to clear the crap. You cannot go into law of attraction expecting all these wonderful things. Those doubts, that's the crap you got to clear. You got to, if it charges you, if it makes you anxious, you have a day without pain or a moment without pain, Laura, and all of a sudden you get a little anxiety and wait, no, there's a reason why you're feeling that. So collapse that. You absolutely have the right to be pain free, and you absolutely deserve to be pain free. And Emily, you absolutely are worthy. You have the desire, you have the right to be worthy. You have the right to happiness, and you have the right to be okay with it and be happy about it. The absolute human right for all of that. So don't limit yourself in not believing it. It's true. You have the right. So live in that right. And when
I need
it happens,
you in my ear every day.
I work on retainer.
I need that. Yeah. I have a right
I work
to,
on retainer. Yes, you do. Just like this phone has a right to be in my hand any more than this pencil does. It has a right to have lead in it. It's your right. It's just giving yourself permission. One of the words that I had the hardest time with was deserve. When I first started at HMI, I didn't even know. A limiting belief was I didn't deserve happiness because I came out of this Christian cult-like experience, and my ears are itching because of it. But it's like, no, you deserve hell. You're being preached at for 25 years. And if you're in the mountaintop, don't worry, you're going to be in a valley soon enough. And that's what we deserve. We deserve hell, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I hear, all those years. And so I had the ultimate FU moment after I left the church and I moved out, kind of left that life. And I moved to Woodland Hills, and I was renting a room from this lady, this beautiful mansion up on the hill in Woodland Hills. And the very next morning, I looked out over her balcony. I'm in the valley on the mountain. I can do both. You know what? Sometimes valleys hit, they don't have to. Law of attraction, they don't have to, but they do. And, to me, I shrug my shoulders at it. Somebody doesn't like me. Okay. That's their right. And it's my right to just, God bless you and have a great day. Ken Dubner, a graduate, and he does the stage hypnosis, a brilliant man. He said something that I try to do this. Sometimes when you're on the freeway, it's very frustrating. Or if you're standing in line, a really long line, there's not enough checkers. So just stand there and just keep looking at the checker or the person getting your coffee. And there's 10 people in front of you, whatever. Look at the end of the line where you want to be and just keep saying to yourself, I love them. I love them. I love you. I love you. In your mind, over and over and over and over and over again. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. By the time you get to the line, that frustration you felt, you have a better attitude now. You don't have the frustration. Love yourself. Oh my gosh. So deserve was a really hard thing. How are you doing? I'm better than I deserve because I deserve hell. You know what? I deserve happiness. I deserve health. Laura, you deserve good health. Rheumatoid arthritis is not fun. And how dare whoever it was that brought it into the world, how dare it? It could be a generational curse. You don't know. All you know is you don't want it. And you know what? You're going to work towards alleviating yourself of it somehow, some way, and embrace those moments. And tears are some ways that we embrace the release of it, just letting it go, limiting beliefs. Just the word deserve was so hard. I've embraced deserve so much because it helped me find my appreciation. I am so appreciative. So anytime I get out of appreciation and I created my highest value, kindness. I am a very kind person, more so than I've ever been in my life. And I will be kind to everybody, no matter what. Now I can be, snarky, but still kind. I can be assertive and say please and thank you and kind. If I have to call a customer service person and bitch them out because of something, it's not their fault. They had nothing to do with my situation. So I immediately apologize before I even start. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to give you an earful, but I need you to understand my frustration so that I can be in gratitude, so that you're going to help me and I'm going to be thankful and I'm going to give you a good review. I kind of start the conversation like that because I already know it's not, attitude. Got to have a good attitude. It really makes a difference in how people react to you too and how you react to others. And then your children are 9 and 13, Laura. They're half grown. So half their life is already done. So, and I don't know I know you've got a really little one there, Emily, and I don't know how old your other ones are, but they're getting to a point where they're going to be half grown. So this is the best time. Always get them ready for the next position in life. If they're 13, get them ready learn about driving, and before they're 13, my son was, I have one son and 2 daughters, and I know hormones for boys, hormones are hitting. And so I knew going into 7th grade, it's gonna be girls, 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 girls. I just know it. So I just made the decision the day before he started 7th grade. I walked into his room. You're going to be in sports until you get out of high school, by the way, and by hook or crook, whatever it took for me to make sure he stayed in sports, because it can be very expensive. And the school, they went to private school. So the only sport that they had at the time was basketball. So there was Jesus, because they went to a Christian school, and here's basketball. I mean, they were like neck and neck kind of thing. My son for 6 years got to tour the country and go to so many basketball tournaments and play in them. And I just was like, that was my intention. That's what he got to do. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. But that was like, I didn't want him to have I didn't want my 16-year-old son to come home and say he got somebody pregnant or anything like that. Are there any questions? Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, anything?
Love it.
Great, great, great. And everybody, great. I'm so glad. So I'm going to post my little question, the little thing that I put up there, that from the Victoria Gallagher book, that little, I created it. And she actually gives a website. You can go to victoriamgallagher.com/PLOA, Practical Law of Attraction, /resources. And I don't know if you can get that. I'll try and type it in the comments before I check out of here. And like I said, my phone number is up there. Call me if you have any questions at all. You just want to talk one-on-one for a few minutes. Phone calls are always free. I'm there to help you. And any way I possibly can to help you be successful, because my success in life, my expectation in success is for others to be successful. Because if I can help somebody with that, then I'm successful. I don't have to be in the limelight. I don't have to get credit for anything. I give credit's due, but I just want people to be successful in what they are. So, and no questions, everybody's good. Anything at all that you're learning that you'd like to talk about right now that maybe I can help you with? Anything at all? We still have some time. Anything that you're working on? Go ahead.
So on the limiting beliefs, are we using hypnosis? Because it's one thing to be like, okay, don't think that, or don't do that, or that kind of stuff, but easier said than done, right?
when I work with a client, and I can work with limiting beliefs right over the phone, if they go into like a trance-like state, and just it's a conversation. It's a trance-like conversation.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Yep.
There's a lot of information out on Google. I went to Google and just looking at different ways that other people do limiting beliefs. And it's virtually different terminology, but it's all the same thing. Joe did it his way. I like it. I like it. That's only the one I've ever done. But now I'm actually going to incorporate. I like what this, oh, I like this piece. And I'll be creating my own script, if you will, that I think will that's easily understood and anybody can use it. It's like EFT. You teach your client once and then they can do it and teach it to anybody they want. You know, I want to teach limiting beliefs and I want everybody to just get out there and learn it themselves, kind of thing. So yes, Emily, did you have something you wanted to?
I actually forget what I was gonna say.
Anything that you wanted to work on or talk about or anything like that?
You know, I just switched mentors, and it was a difficult decision to make because I did love my mentor, but there was somebody that I was very much more drawn to, with her work, and what I felt my path it was inevitably going to lead to, and I you know, I'm high fizz, so I'm sociable, and so I've made friends within HMI virtually, and I see what everyone else is doing, and I'm not the kind of person that compares myself to others, but I see what everybody else is doing, and I know that everybody else is seeing clients, and I am like graduating. I mean, my last class technically will be September 30th, so I can by then if I wanted to, and I have not started seeing clients. I have put this, you know, I have made the excuse that it's my kids, specifically my 3-year-old, that is keeping me from that. I have taken over this room that I used to rent out, you know, so now I could turn this into I could actually have my own bedroom. And I've turned it into my office. Both couches I got fold down into beds. But the point is that, like, I don't hear her screaming. Okay. I did one practice session with a student, and she didn't hear my daughter screaming, and I actually incorporated it into the session and just said, okay, now you're going to take some time to, you know, think about these things. You know, it was my excuse with my kids. So I know that I could do that. I know I could even get creative and work this way through, but I discovered, you know, even yesterday, I am very much blocked in getting out there and working with clients because I don't have the same problem as other people where all these students are like, oh, I need to find clients. I need to find clients. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have that problem. That's why I'm not starting yet, because I'm so afraid of the snowball effect. I've got all these different groups. I've got an indigenous group that I'll be working with. I've got a Black Americans group I'll be working with. I've got an LGBTQ, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That I'll be working with. I've got 3 groups. And what do those groups all have in common? Some serious trauma, some serious, and I am scared. I know we're recording, but I'm scared shitless. And
well, that's okay. I can always, well, I can't do that, but if you want me to pause the recording anytime.
No, I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
But I all I care about is helping people heal. I really resonate and relate to the things you say because I don't care about the credit. I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything else. I just know my mission is to help these people help themselves.
Do you have anybody that helps you with your children?
I'm an island. I am absolutely an island. I think that's what contributes to my stress is I just don't have a friend network. I've created these mom groups and the pandemic happened. And then I thought I had all these friends, but I had none. I really like, I'm just
trying to find, and you have a 3-year-old. So no, let's chat later.
I have a 3-year-old and an autistic 11-year-old.
Ouch. No, yeah, I get you. I'm putting up, oh my gosh, I can't even do numbers.
And he's easy. My 11-year-old's easy. It's my 3-year-old challenges me just every step of the way.
Of course. I can't. Hang on a second. I'm putting something up in the chat. Okay, so it's in the chat. My phone number. So just give me a call, and we can talk about what that is privately if you ever want.
Can I say something just on experience?
Sure.
Because I kind of relate to some of these things that Emily's saying. So what happened for me was I graduated November last year, but what happened for me was the that whole snowball effect. And that I started taking people, and I started like really getting into the zone of taking people. And then there was a lot of traumatic stuff because I got kind of a name for myself in those medical settings. So I was taking like doctors and like nurses and things that have seen some bad stuff in COVID. And so anyway, this was going on until through January. And then it was like sometime after January, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I haven't gone through any of my stuff. And that's what was blocking me, because I have taken I've taken a total of 3 months together, because that started in February. Yeah. And slowly got back into it. But it was me. It was really my stuff. I couldn't take anymore. I was a wounded healer. One of my friends and like a mentor to me, because I've been talking to him long before I even started hypnosis, but he's a somatic trauma therapist. And we have had casual chats, and finally I, got to talking to him one day, and he goes, well, careful you don't become a wounded healer. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. I need to help myself first. And then I'm coming back to the table much stronger. There's such a huge difference.
You would be surprised how many people are wounded healers.
Yeah.
Laura, I'd encourage you to do one of these workshops on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, because that's all I've been doing, like for myself. And now that I take people, I'm so much more relaxed, and I don't get stressed about the session. Nothing. It's just a huge.
The people who are very empathics, that take on other people's energy. I mean, I have clients who are so it's like, okay, dude, you gotta like not take on everyone's energy. And so what I encourage them to do always for empathics, go outside once a day for 15 minutes and get your feet in the dirt, and just a little feet in the dirt meditation for a few minutes every day, kind of reground yourself. And then, but then I'm gifted. I know this because I don't care who is in that chair or whatever, virtual chair. They're my client, and I know my line of demarcation, and I'm in it with them. I meet them where they're at. I'm with them. They're the only thing that matters during that session. And when they walk out the door, I don't take it in. It's gone. It's like, that's why I take notes. And and maybe it's to my chagrin, I don't remember always what our last session was about. I had one, gosh, I know that it was on the books, and I had, it'd only been a week, and I'm like really trying to, I wasn't at my office. I can't remember what this guy was seeing me for. We'd already had one session. I'm like, it really bothered me that I couldn't remember. It's like, oh my gosh, that was like pathetic. I had to go back and look up my notes and stuff, but it's also good because I'm not taking on their energy. And some people get that emotional romantic transference. Nope, not gonna happen.
I wasn't raising my hand to that, but
but definitely.
Literally after this, Steve is graciously helping me with this, because I've had many offers of people, other students offering, oh, I'll do this, do y'all do, and I haven't taken up anybody on their offers, not because I don't think they would be able to. There's also partially because I don't want to, I'm very cognizant of people's time. I don't like to take advantage of people.
Wait a minute, wait. Why?
Because I think there's a slight codependent part of me that realizes that many people don't have the ability to stand up for what they want or what they don't want. And so they'll take on too much. And so now I'm making the decision for them not to let them take on too much, be it.
Yeah.
Okay, but is that your job to do that?
It's not.
Okay, so are you feeling like you're inconveniencing them?
The people that have offered, I've seen that they've gotten very busy, so I've not.
Yeah, but
I also am very careful with who kind of, in a sense, gets in my head. So,
that's good. No, that's good, because
he's actually going to help me create that kind of wall, because I am very, the empath is very strong, especially when it comes to kids. I mean, just a couple case histories in class, I fell apart. I could not even hear it. I mean, I feel it in my throat right now, even thinking about it.
And that's where EFT can really help you release that. There's something going on in your throat, decision making, frustration, whatever. EFT would be a really good, I give one to anybody. If they want an EFT session just on Zoom, I'll help anybody with EFT the first time with no problem. Usually I'll gift that to my clients, but if somebody just wants to know, I know Bianca West will be doing an EFT workshop here at some point pretty soon. But if you ever want just a one-on-one EFT, let me know. We'll schedule it and we'll just do it.
You're amazing, really. Thank you. And
there's no point in getting money out of it because it's EFT, for crying out loud. It's like, it's a way to just help you get better to do the things that we love doing, and that's helping people.
I
Clear
really
the crap.
In hypnotherapy to the very core and how much it can change people's lives. And that's why I do think it's a great point that Laura, you bring up, really,
Yeah.
That we tend to attract in this industry people that feel or hope that they will heal themselves by healing others. And it's not that they're being selfish, that they want to heal themselves so they heal it, but it's inherently certain kind of people that have this kind of mentality. And it really is very much the case that you cannot help others if you're not, it's the whole airplane thing, right? You can't help, someone else put on their mask first if you don't put your mask on first. I mean,
That's been literally all of my work this last year has been codependency. I know it's no coincidence I have RA. I was the person in human resources doing everything for everybody, getting 1.5 hours of sleep with a new baby. It was a disaster. It was waiting to happen. So I know this about myself, but I always ask myself, I have this phrase that goes through my head. Am I doing this because if you're okay, I'm okay? Or am I okay right now? Am I okay right now before I go do this, And that goes through my head because that's a learned pattern from childhood. That's one that I took on from my mom, who was never okay. And I was always the therapist and I was always that person taking care of her. And if you're okay, I'm okay. And that's what we do with our clients, right? If they're okay, we're okay. And so I always go through that. I need to be okay. I need to be okay first.
Whether they're okay or not. And just because there's a job to do or somebody to help doesn't mean you were the one called to do it. You might have just, if you want to take it from a biblical perspective, Solomon built the temple, but his dad collected all the information, all the resources. He wanted to do it, but he was called to a job. He wasn't called to, his line of lineage was called to do it, but he wasn't. So when someone said that to me, don't play somebody else's Holy Spirit. You know what? You have to work always putting yourself on your to-do list first. And if you can do that, you know what? The what ifs of the world, you can't change them. You can't change, and you can't even change your children. You can influence them, but you can't change them. They're going to be who they're going to be. So
that's what I identify with, Emily, for sure. It's just like, oh my God, I have to be perfect for my kids. And like, wait a second,
Nope.
I mean, I've had to go back and deal with a lot of that for sure, because nothing was, all these things were wrong with my childhood. I need to do everything completely opposite. And then you realize some of those things were human. And then that means, that's okay too. And so, it's a whole process, but I definitely had to take care of myself first. And I'm still getting through that. And my last little thing where I'm feeling mentally okay, now I need to be physically okay.
Exactly. And that's absolutely within your control. And just a quick advertisement for Thursdays, my live at 5, most things hypnosis, every Thursday at centralvalleytalk.com. I have Michelle Guzzi. She's going to be talking all things past life regression. So I'm looking forward to that too.
I haven't missed one of your shows yet. I love
Yay. And if you have any ideas,
I missed one. Yeah.
They're all at centralvalleytalk.com. They're all listed.
Yep, that's
there.
where I got them. I got the first one live and then I kept missing them. I'm like, okay.
And then in 2 weeks, I have a wonderful gentleman. He actually went through NLP with me. His name's Dan Gordon, and he's a business relationship coach. And we're going to find out how he can help people, because I want a lot of business aspects also on my show to just help people in business. This is a business. And then on the 19th, I have an amazing guy he's single, he's cute, and but his name's Paul. He's going to be talking about online dating from a man's perspective, how to help women out there who are looking for a guy. Well, women, this is what you shouldn't do. This is what we'd like to see you do, that kind of thing. He's got years of experience on an unlimited amount of different dating sites and thousands of dollars invested into what not to do and what to do. So, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll have just the opposite, a woman coming on who's got a lot of experience in online dating. I do too, but I want to hear it from somebody else as well. And kind of like, men, this is what we're blah, blah, blah. So looking forward to that too. So hopefully, and I'll keep announcing all this stuff that's coming up and stuff, but just Michelle Guzzi on Thursday, live at 5. I'm looking
I love your shows. I love your workshops. I love you. So
yes, let's do coffee. I don't know when I'm coming down again, but I'll be down, well, soon. I know that something's happening soon down there. I don't know, I have to go look at my calendar, but LA County now has the new mask thing going on, and with they're remasking. They're bringing in the mask restrictions and all that. And
I never stopped.
Yeah. And well, you can go without a mask indoors.
I haven't seen that. Everywhere I've gone, they require masks. I mean, I only go to Trader Joe's and Ralph's, so I mean, I guess.
So here in where I'm at in Visalia, you can mask or not, but we don't have the cases that are increasing or anything with a smaller population and cool mayor and all that. So I'm just, because my boyfriend's immune suppressed, I just want to make sure I keep him safe too. But just the idea that going into a crowd of anybody, I have to be careful over okay, there's 200 people at this bar. Do I really believe that all 200 are negative for corona?
Right.
There might be one. There most likely is one that isn't, and the chances of me being in contact, blah, 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 or whatever. So I just trying to be careful with this whole, because I'm an anti-vaxxer at the moment. I'm still researching. I have to make a decision by October because my daughter's getting married in a southeastern country, and I gotta make a decision. If I'm going to the wedding, I gotta get vaccinated. So I gotta do my research. Anyway, all right, everybody. If you have any questions, you know how to find me. Thank you all for joining me, and anybody who watches this, thank you. And my phone number is there. Text, reach out, my website, and all I can say now is go help somebody and do good work. Okay. All right, people.
Thank
Take
you.
care.